Good morning, everyone. I know today is India-Pakistan match, and that's the reason I planned the session at 11. Otherwise, I would have taken it at 3, most probably. But here we go. So, how are you guys feeling? And reading club. This is a club started by me in which we'll be doing certain things. So first of all, let's learn the agenda of this. A prospective audience will be the people who are preparing for MBA. Any MBA aspirant through CAT, GMAT or IPMAT. Do we have anyone like that here? Second is any major exam aspirant where English language is the medium. And third is, needless to say, anyone who's interested in literature. Okay, so it's open for everyone, open to everyone. And in case, Ayushman, okay, and in case your friends who belong to any of these categories, you can just share the link with them and ask them to be here and enjoy what we're going to do today. By the way, I was expecting more than 400 summaries on the Facebook post, but I got only 40. Anyways, this is the first time that we're doing it. Probably next time all will be serious. So what needs to be done by the audience? One book every fortnight they'll be recommending, sometimes one movie every week. It can be anything. One article or essay or editorial every alternate day. Okay, that is what you guys need to do. Is that all right? Well, now, and then you need to write a summary. So I'll be giving you some time, prescribed time. After that, so all the communication will be done via 2 channels. One is the Facebook group, that is CAT Preparation by iQUANTA. Other is the WhatsApp group that we have made. There are close to 4 WhatsApp groups because the demand and the kind of people who were interested are too many. So the groups got full, and that's why we had to make 4 different groups. All right. Now, so this is what you guys need to do. And post a summary on FB group, that is CAT Preparation by iQUANTA. Is that clear, everyone? Then followed by weekly or fortnightly RC sessions based on the tasks. So today is the first session of it, and task 1 is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So there are a lot of people who must have read this book, who are not a part of iQUANTA, probably. I think there are some people like that. Vaibhav, Chirag, right? And those who have done it, so I somehow assume that you guys have gone through it. You have read everything and you have posted a summary as well. So here comes, and without wasting much time, because I don't want to waste any time, neither of yours nor mine. So the first task is, and now we will be having 3 different RC passages based on this only. So in a way, what you will learn today, obviously you will learn the art of reading comprehension through different kind of questions. It can be inference-based questions, main idea questions, contextual vocabulary questions, all that stuff will be there. Moreover, I'll also tell you how to read between the lines, whatever is given in the passage, clearly, paragraph wise. You can make a mental map, the key ideas, the main ideas, supporting ideas, how they are useful for answering any question. So in a way, this is not an unseen passage, right? That's not an unseen passage. It's a passage that is already seen by you. Okay. One will be unseen because that's the Alchemist review. Rest 2 passages I have taken from the book itself. Okay. So this way, like a lot of people say that we don't have the habit of reading or watching movies or watching any kind of, or reading any kind of, be it novel, be it an essay, etc. So to make this a kind of tradition and to make people in sync with the CAT prep or any kind of preparation for any exam which is English language, I came up with this task in which, so you will be having an idea beforehand, and if you have the idea, whether you will be able to answer the questions or not. So that is the real challenge, and we're doing it throughout the year. I think there'll be 2 sessions every month. It can be 3 or 4 also. So in addition to what the live classes, application classes that we take. Okay, so I hope this is going to be this is going to be something which you guys will enjoy and learn a lot. So let's go to the first passage, that is The Alchemist review. Look at the illustration. There's an illustration of Fatima, the female protagonist of the, not the protagonist, but the female interest, the love interest of Santiago, the protagonist. Here goes the passage, and my watch shows 11:09 a.m. I'm giving you time till read till 11:15. am. I'll go on mute, all right? And in this time, you'll be reading this. And in case you find certain words which are difficult, you can just Google them, write down the notes, write down all the words, and you can use those words later in the summary that you'll be writing, which you have already done. So here we go. I'm going on mute. Time starts now. Bhagavad Gita, Vaibhav, I'll talk about that once you finish this. All right, so now I'll show you the questions one by one, and for every question you'll be getting 1.5 minutes. So you will just mark question number 1 and then your answer. All right, so here we go. All right, so now. Question number 2. Third question. Coming to question number 4. All right. Was the passage easy, difficult? What do you think? So now there will be test when the first was basically, this was an unseen passage because there's a review written by some author, not by Paulo Coelho himself. But at the very same time, like you have read the novel, so this is going to be, you know, kind of relatable, right? Yeah. Okay, now, The Alchemist is an introspective and symbolic piece. What is introspective? Like we introspect, that is thinking about, thinking something in your own mind. You know, when you introspect, you reflect upon things. You reflect upon things, things that you have watched, observed, or felt. You know, you kind of think about it, that too in solitude inside your mind. That is introspect. Okay, by the way, okay, I'll tell you one thing. Let's, Rajesh, okay. Now I will also, you know, I will tell you how, by the way, there's one thing. We can't remember all the words, isn't it? That is impossible. And if anybody of you, from you, among you, is preparing for GRE, anyone? Or have you seen the papers of GRE, the questions of GRE? So in GRE, what happens, there is an entire section in which a lot of vocabulary is required. Okay, and obviously people cannot remember all the vocabulary, all the words. That is impossible. So there is a thing called etymology. You know what is etymology? Etymology? It's study of roots of words, like how words were made, formed. All right. So I'll tell you something which I used to do. Obviously, my vocabulary is, I think it's better than an average person because I write books. But at the very same time, when I do not know the meaning of the words, there are certain things which I, you know, kind of connect with. For example, I'll tell you something. There are two words. One is intrapersonal, other is interpersonal, and these two are the aspects of intelligence quotient, IQ. Like in IQ, we have 8 different aspects, out of which one is intrapersonal, other is interpersonal. Like in the schools or colleges, you must have heard these terms very commonly, very often, like inter-school competition, right? Inter-school competition, intra-school competitions. So when it says intra, it is within the reach. Intra, like intrapersonal, that means do I know myself? That is intrapersonal ability. Interpersonal, would I be able to connect to people who are not me? That is interpersonal. So this, whenever we have this word intra as a prefix, that means on his or her own self, okay, inside the limits. Is that clear? When it's inter, it's outside the limits. So do you understand this? Introspective, another is speculation. So you are speculating on your own, inside yourself, intra, and that is how it becomes introspective. So etymology is a study of the roots of words, and that is how a lot of people, you know, even if they don't know the meaning of the words, they can kind of, with the context and with the basic fundamentals, they can derive the meaning. Is that clear, everyone? Ayushman, yes. So I was thinking about this, like, you know, etymology is something which I'm not an expert in that, I'm not an etymologist, but when I read books, when I read a lot of material, so I kind of, you know, and this happens with you also. Tell me if that happens with you. Like you tend to, you know, connect different words, and that is how you come to the meaning. So if required, do you want me to take a session on etymology? Which is going to, I think it will be helping you a lot. In case you require that, I'll do that. Because see, the language is something which cannot be understood just overnight or in a day or a week. But yeah, whatever we can do in this coming months, we can do that. Now, The Alchemist is an introspective and symbolic. Symbolic comes from symbol. All right, symbolic piece. Symbolic. So let's say that, for example, a very simple example I'll give to you. The third eye. The third eye. You know that, right? The third eye, people form this third eye tika sort of thing. Majorly Hindus do that. So third eye represents Shiva. The third eye is symbolic of Lord Shiva. Do you understand this? So symbols which actually mean something deeper, something else. Tejaswini, there's a WhatsApp group. Okay, I'll send the link soon. Well, so The Alchemist is an introspective and symbolic piece that articulately, let me say articulate, he is an articulative person. So when you kind of say things in such a way which sound attractive, fascinating, when you articulate your speech, so you put in different idioms, phrases, some nice words, symbolism, all those things, that is articulation. Pawan, yes, I'll be sending after this session. So, The Alchemist is an introspective and symbolic piece that articulately presents its story and meaning through a tale of adventure and personhood. Alright, so the entire idea is presenting a story in an articulative way. A lot of symbolism is there. And what is the way of telling the story? An adventure. Is that clear? Adventure and personhood. Told with a voice that would not be described as dissimilar to that of a fairy tale. Would not be described as dissimilar. So we have two negatives, not dis. Okay, when you have dis, D-I-S, again, this is a word which gives the opposite meaning of it. Something that is not similar. So two negatives make a positive, isn't it? Do you understand that? So saying would not be described as dissimilar is as good as saying would be described as similar. Do you understand these things or not? So this is articulation of the words. Cool. It creates impact. It sounds, feels very good to read, very interesting to read. But in a way it is, that would be described as similar to that of a fairy tale. All of you should understand this. Two negatives make a positive. Yes or no? Do you agree to me? Now, so fairy tale. What is a fairy tale? परियों की कहानी, बच्चों की कहानी. All of us know that, है ना? Fairy tale. उसमें जिन्न भी आएगा, कुछ spirits भी आएंगी. All those things. Majorly fairies are pari. In Hindi we call it pari. So, and fairy tale is very simple, very simplistic, very minimalistic words are used there, because they are majorly meant for children below 12 years of age. Yes, Ayushman. So the author says, the author of this review, he or she says that it is very much similar to fairy tale. The Alchemist reads almost like a children's book at first, avoiding more textured prose. Textured. What is texture? Texture, the outer surface, how it looks. So textured prose, there are two ways. There are two ways to write anything. One is prose, other is poetry. You know that poetry is poems, prose is, it can be paragraph, it can be novel, it can be essay, etc. Do you understand that? Prose and poetry, two forms of literature. All of you know that? If you don't know that, the things that I'm speaking here, why I'm explaining all these things? So that you make the notes which will be helpful to you. And after the session is over, just go through those notes. Are you doing that? Prose, poetry are two ways to write literature. Well, and straying. So he was, Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist, he was avoiding textured prose. He was not very much interested in writing things which look complex. And straying away from in-depth descriptions. Straying away. Straying is not coming to the point. Straying. Like we use stray dogs. You must have heard that. Stray dogs, jo gali mein ghumte hain. Okay. Despite this more simplistic style, there is a plethora of underlying themes. Simplistic, you understand, comes from simple. And keep on interacting with me. Do you understand what I told you earlier? Plethora is abundance. Like lot of. When we want to use a single word which gives a feeling of something which is huge, loads of things, lot of things. So plethora of underlying themes that are hinted at throughout the book. Underlying is something that is not mentioned explicitly, but if you read that, you will understand that the only theme of this novel, Alchemist, was not just adventure, it was more than that. There are a lot of underlying themes. Clear? Okay. Now, as the story progresses, there seems to be more philosophical approach as Coelho embodies. Embodies is embody. तो यहाँ भी क्या है? यहाँ भी एक हमारे पास etymological significance है. Embodies. So body comes from body. When you use term embody, that means we make it a part of our own. Do you understand this? Right? दीपक सही तो लिखा था, क्यों गाद दिया? Okay, so embody, we make it a part of our own. So Coelho, the author of the novel Alchemist, embodies a voice more adjacent to classic scripture. Okay, so it starts with something, a language which is kind of very childlike, and when it progresses, it was the classic scripture, classic books. Artfully, Coelho combines philosophy, wisdom, and the simplicity of language to tell this story. Philosophy, wisdom, simplicity, you know that. Masterfully told, masterfully like someone who is a master in doing things, like Paulo Coelho, and somehow deeply personal while maintaining a comfortable distance from the reader. The Alchemist is a story everyone should enjoy and learn from at least once. This book seems to invoke, like develop passion from all readers, either being a story that readers completely, entirely fall in love with, or abhorrent and infuriated by. Abhorrent is feeling disgusted, infuriated, feeling angry. Fury comes from fury. Is that clear, everyone? Tell me in the comment. So to talk about the key ideas of the first paragraph, which we just finished, it talks about the writing style of the entire novel, nothing else. This is more about the writing style. Is that clear? Writing style is the key idea in the first paragraph, right? You guys are not interacting, or the messages are coming late, maybe. Yeah. Second paragraph. The story itself follows. Now this review will talk about the story. Story itself, the plot, follows a young shepherd, Santiago, who leads a herd of sheep. What is herd? Herd is used for sheep, a group of animals. For example, when we talk about, okay, tell me, fish के group को क्या बोलते हैं? Group of fish. It's called shoal of fish, right? And what is the group of lions called? Anyone? Sheep के group को herd कहते हैं. Any kind of cattle, any kind of flock of sheep are also there. Very good, Noir Nebula. So herd is used for cattle. What is cattle? Cattle can be cow, buffalo, sheep, goats. So they use herd, but for sheep specifically it is flock. Very good. And for lions, pride of lions. Very good, nice. Pride of lions. So in Spain, after several recurring dreams, recurring is something which you must have heard, this recurring decimal, rational number. Dreams of treasure and the pyramids of Egypt. I am sure all of you know about pyramids, don't you? It belongs to one of the 7 wonders of world. Okay? So pyramids are in Egypt. Santiago ventures away from the life. Venture is like adventure, say venture hai. He goes away from life he knows in search of his personal legend. Legend is a story, it's a myth. So he wants to, look at his own story, like what is his purpose on this planet. Okay. Meeting several interesting characters along the way and hearing their stories and personal legends as well, Santiago retains the wisdom he's shown and applies to his own journey. Okay, so basically it's a kind of journey of self. He keeps on traveling, meets people, and kind of imbibes all those learnings in his own life. In this way, the Alchemist pushes forth the idea that all individuals should live in a singular pursuit of their dreams as the only way to achieve a satisfying life, also called a personal legend. In the story, Santiago faces several seemingly insurmountable obstacles. So surmount, what is surmount? Surmount is when you kind of overcome a situation. So insurmountable, जिसको overcome ना किया जा सके. ऐसे obstacles मिले, such as thieves, dangerous travels, pursuit of love, but continues to seek balance and contentment. Now, the second paragraph essentially talks about the plot of the novel. Right? Is that clear? The main idea here is plot, right? Okay. Now, coming to third paragraph. The Alchemist has the power to shift the reader into a world apart from their own. One that is home to wizards and ancient kings. एक ऐसी दुनिया जहाँ पे जादूगर, पुराने महाराजा, है ना? Do you want me to speak in English and Hindi both? है ना? एक दुनिया जहाँ पे fantasy है, जादू, tilism, all that stuff, So, visits an ancient Greek, and one where you can explain what love is to the wind and ask the sun for help. The world wherein you can talk to wind and talk to sun also. If you have read the novel, you must have realized that Santiago talks to wind and sun both. Okay. The Alchemist is simultaneously a story of one's individual journey and one about connecting with the world around you, because everything was created from the same hand and you're never truly alone. So in a way, what has been written very philosophically is in a way kind of commonsensical also. So we must be using this everywhere, that God has made us all, humans, animals, non-human animals, plants, planets, stars, right, light, etc. Be it any religious book, be it Bible, be it the Holy Quran, be it Bhagavad Gita, be it whatever, wherever we read, there is always this indication towards God being one, isn't it? And that one natural power, you call it God, you call it nature, you call it whatever, that one higher form of energy has created everything. Okay, so this is something which we believe in spiritually, scientifically also. It's the same thing, that there was some energy spark happening, Big Bang, all that stuff is there. So scientifically, philosophically, religiously, we keep on talking about these things, right? So this is the same thing here, from the same hand, and you're never truly alone. So if one hand has created all of us, that means none of us is ever alone. Okay. If you don't have any friends, you don't have any partners, at least you'll be having trees, right? So, Coelho never condescends the reader with his philosophical approach. Condescends? What is condescends? Mock, or make something lower. So he never, lowers the intellect, or kind of takes the ability of the readers for granted with his philosophical approach. He's straightforward, as concise as he can be, and adds a whimsical edge to life's problems. Whimsical. What is whimsical? Whimsical can have multiple meanings. Whimsical is majorly when, unpredictable. You don't know what is going to happen. All right, that is whimsical. Edge to life's problems, and seems so out of grasp. The problems which seem out of grasp, we cannot control it. This story has the power to cultivate hope for readers who are sincere with their intent to listen and contemplate Coelho's words. Okay, so what is this story? This story can, generate hope in people, develop hope in people. Coelho's word, this book resonates with people all over the world, transcending culture and language, because it encapsulates. Now, this comes from the word capsule. All of you must have seen a capsule, right? You pop up capsules when you are ill. Encapsulates. En, the prefix, capsulate. So, formation of a capsule in a way. So now can you imagine that? What does capsule contain? Capsule contains a lot of medicines, like the capsules that we normally use. Capsule can be a course, a capsule course can be there, and then in that capsule there will be a lot of elements will be there. So in a way, encapsulates so much of what being human, finding contentment is. So being human and finding contentment, when these things are given a word or given a form, that is encapsulation. Okay, imbibing is also a word. Clear? Well, so the third paragraph essentially talks about, the it's a mix of tone of the Alchemist. It's a mix of plot, and also a mix of the motivation that Paulo Coelho was trying to give with his novel. Now, the last paragraph. The author himself, Paulo Coelho, had a similar journey to his protagonist while publishing this book. Reading it with this context in mind, the story itself becomes more meaningful and profound. Profound is something which has very high value. All right. Java encapsulation. Okay. The desperation and hope that the protagonist Santiago feels while pursuing his pursue. When you are kind of persuade, persuade comes from pursue. You kind of walk behind something, your dreams. Personal relation is not only his or the readers, but the author's as well, raw and sincere. Coelho said when describing his book after his first publisher dropped him after only 2 copies were sold in the first 6 months since publishing, "I never lost faith in the book or ever wavered in my vision." Wavered is like deviating in my vision. Think about this. I'll just give you a very interesting trivia. Like The Alchemist, it sold only 2 copies in the first 6 months. But do you know, the book was published in 1989, and how many copies has it sold till now, till the time I'm speaking? In last 36 years? Any idea? Anyone? It has sold at least 150 million copies. And know what? This is just 60% of the exact selling. 40% copies are pirated. Okay? Interesting, no? So it must have sold at least 250 million copies, out of which 100 million were pirated. So that is the kind of connect this book has with all the people. Okay, so it ranks among the 3rd highest selling novel of all times. We won't be counting the religious books. Obviously, Bible, Gita would have sold more, but the novels is at number 3. Okay. Now coming to the questions. First, which of the following best describes primary theme of the Alchemist as presented in the passage? Primary theme is starts from this only, you know, symbolic piece, introspection, finding his own purpose, finding the meaning of existence, right? All those stuff is there. The struggle of an individual against external forces in pursuit of material success. This is wrong. External forces is not the key idea, primary idea of the entire passage. It's the internals. There's no externality. That's why we can eliminate A. Coming to B, the conflict between destiny and free will in shaping an individual's life. This thing is true. It's true, right? It's a true statement. But it's not of the primary purpose. That's why we can eliminate B. By the way, it's true. That's why I'll put a question mark. Now, this is something which you need to understand. While marking the correct answer, you cannot eliminate things directly, because if something is true, you need to take care of it. If we have a better option, then we will go for it. C says journey of self-discovery, fulfillment through the pursuit of one's dreams. This is a better option than B, so now I can eliminate B. Do you understand that, everyone? B was true, but C is a better option. D, the importance of external validation. Ye to hai nahi external validation, so we'll go with C definitely. Great. Second, based on the passage, which of the following best explains why the Alchemist is capable of resonating with people across cultures? Now, without even reading the options, I can think of one thing. If any kind of literary piece is universal in nature, any movie, any book, any painting, it must be having universal themes of humanity and love that is felt by all humans across different races, right? Be it white man, yellow man, brown man, or black man. Okay, they all of them feel resentment, joy, happiness. So when we have universal themes, that becomes a universal art piece. Okay, so let's see. Do we have anything like that? It's a simple story that does not require much thought and enjoyable to read. Yeah, this is true. Looks true to me. I'll put a question mark. There's a reason. Enjoyable to read, require much thought. To ho sakta hai sabko. The reason why movies which look very superficial, or the blockbusters movies, Salman Khan movies, the reason is simple, because it is very enjoyable and very simple. So A looks correct to me. Let's read other options also. It presents universal themes of purpose and human connection in an accessible manner. Universal themes किस चीज़ की? Purpose of life, human connection की बात भी कही गई है. So capable of resonating best explains. B is also true, and B encapsulates the theme in a better way than A. That's why we can eliminate A and put a question mark on B. Do you understand that? Next, the presence of magical elements and adventure makes it widely appealing. Yeah, that's also true. But magical elements and adventure is not the only thing which Alchemist offers. It offers much more than that. There are many other books which offer you magical elements and adventure, like Pirates of Caribbean is there. So B is still a better choice. I'll eliminate C. D says the book is inspired by the personal struggles of the author, making deeply personal and subjective. Personal and subjective, that goes against the question. It should be universal, not personal. So we'll go with B. I hope all of you have done that only, right? Makes sense? Next. Which of the following statements, if true, would most seriously weaken the idea that the alchemist presents profound philosophical ideas? Now, all of you pay attention to this. This is a critical reasoning question, and this can make or break the entire score of CAT. So the idea is profound philosophical, okay? Profound philosophy is the idea. What we do, we have to weaken the idea. But not just weaken the idea. Probably all four options might be weakening the idea, but we have to choose the one that is weakening it the most. Is that clear? Right? And if true, so basically all this four statements would be from out of the world of the passage. Is that clear? Do you understand that? Right? Okay. Many readers find the writing too simplistic and lacking in depth. That's a true statement, yes or no? Not really, because the passage says, and if it is true, writer find it writing too simplistic and lacking in depth. Lacking in depth, okay. This is weakening, in a way it is weakening. Let's read others also. B, the book was initially rejected by publishers and had low sales. Now, sales and philosophy are two different things. We cannot connect them. That's why B would be eliminated. Coming to C, themes of personal growth and destiny are commonly found in many other books. Now, this is talking about other books, not about alchemy. This is very important. See, C looks correct to a lot of people, isn't it? C looks correct. But C is talking about other books, not about the alchemist. So C is something which can confuse you a lot, but this is not in sync with the question being asked. D, some critics argue that Coelho's philosophical ideas are vague and impractical. Profound का उल्टा होता क्या है? Vague ही तो होता है ना? So in this statement we have a word that is antonymous to profound, so this will be weakening it the most, more than A. We'll go with D here. Cool. Got it? Next. Which of the following can be inferred about author's perspective on Coelho's writing style? I hope you enjoyed the expression third question. It was a great question, and obviously on purpose, I have not made very difficult questions here, but I have made enough questions which will be giving you insights into what to look for in an RC, or attempting an RC, and how to approach the answer, right? Well, which of the following can be inferred about the author's perspective on Coelho's writing style? Coelho's style is overly simplistic and lacks literary merit. Simplistic is yes, lacks literary merit, no. This statement is partially true, that's why we can eliminate it. Clear? Because as the book progresses, it becomes deep. What happened, Pawan? Some critics, हाँ, तो क्या हो गया? All these statements are not in sync with the passage. तभी तो बोल रहा है if true, अगर ये सही है तो, okay? Well, B says writing initially appears simple but carries deeper philosophy, meaning this. Oh yes, this is true, but I'll look for other options also. He said the book is best suited for children due to fairy tale like narration. Fairy tale like narration तो है, but best suited for children. थोड़ा सा ये extreme statement है, we can eliminate C. D says writing style is complex and requires deep. It's not complex at all. We'll go with B. Well done, all of you. So, tell me guys, how many marks did you guys score? देखो तो अभी तक जो था वो एक पैसेज था, unseen passage था, written by some other author. Even when like you in your own words you said the passage is easy peasy, questions are direct, still not many people are getting 4 on 4 except 3-4 people. Majorly you have 3 on 4. So third question was a trap question, right? And some people even got 2. So the thing is, you never have to what is a learning? from this, the kind of scores that you guys have got. I'm not demotivating you. No, that's not my idea. That's not my style. But every score that is that you miss should have, you should take some take-home lesson from that. Did you realize why you went wrong? All of you? Did you make the notes? अमेज़न वाली महंगी क्यों होती है? मीशो वाली बुक के कंपैरिजन में? No, local game, there's no difference in the content. Difference can be in the page quality, number of pages, and also in the word. So if you use the small font size, there'll be less pages. That's the reason. All right. Yes, fall in love with CSE, you can. Now, passage 2 is the conspiracy of universe. I think you have watched this movie called Om Shanti Om. Yes or no? So that is Shah Rukh Khan, and he is drunk in one scene, and he says, कहते हैं अगर किसी चीज़ को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है, राइट? तो हमारी फिल्मों की तरह हमारी ज़िंदगी में सब कुछ अंत में अच्छा हो ही जाता है. अगर अच्छा नहीं हुआ तो अभी वो एंड नहीं है, पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त. डू यू रिमेंबर दैट? पिक्चर अभी बाकी है. तो पिक्चर अभी बाकी है. This statement is apt for this session also. Passage 2, the conspiracy of universe. So your time will be starting. This was taken from Alchemist only. Okay, so there, I'll give you 5 minutes. It's 11:52. Read till 11:58 a.m. I'm going on mute. All right, time starts now. Okay, Pawan, sure. Interesting passage and very motivating. The 4 stages have been told over here. A lot of people, I think, okay, I can see here. Shravani says, unable to retain what is read. Shravani, take a rough paper, okay, a notebook, and try to write the keywords of every paragraph. Okay. And inspiring, introspective, Ayushman, yes, relatable, much needed lines. Nice. Have you guys felt it? The 4 stages. 4th stage पे कौन पहुंचा है कभी? चलो इस बारे में बात करेंगे. Let's go to the questions first. फोर तक नहीं पहुंचे ना, वहाँ कम लोग पहुंच पाते हैं. 30 नवंबर को पहुंचना है वहाँ पे प्रीति का ना. 4th स्टेज. फियर ऑफ सक्सेस भी होता है लोगों में. Question number 2. Aniket, yes, each man kills the thing he loves. Aniket, paradox is like a paheli, which cannot be solved, which is, the word plays such that it rejects its own idea. Question number 3. Jatin, BAD, bad, huh? Okay. 4th question. Shravani, you heard about the word perseverance? It's like when you do something persistently. Even if you fail, you keep on doing it. Being persistent. Okay, so that is the ability of being persistent. Perseverance. When you persevere, basically, you keep on being persistent. Deepak, yes. Third question one more time. Pawan, okay, here it is. थर्ड क्वेश्चन में ही प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है हर किसी को ना. पिछले पैसेज में थर्ड क्वेश्चन, यहाँ भी थर्ड क्वेश्चन. Okay, so you're done with all the questions. The passage was obviously inspiring. A lot of you told that. How were the questions? Still easy peasy? Or were they difficult? What do you think? Moderate? So majorly people said the first passage was moderate when we include the questions as well. This one, easy, moderate, difficult. What do you think? In this passage, we don't have to put in much effort to, kind of create a mental map. It's already a mental map. It starts with a simple statement. There are 4 obstacles. All right. So now, okay, let's see. Ayushman, yeah, let's see. So, it started, there are 4 obstacles. Now, obviously, the readers will start looking at the 4 obstacles, right? First, kitna simply देवाना just point wise दी हुई है. We are told from childhood onward that everything we want to do is impossible. How many of you relate to it? Society, parents, relatives, partners, bosses, teachers have told you that what you are thinking to do is impossible, right? I think a lot of you must have gone through this phase. Yes or no? It's very common. Very common. If parents don't do it, siblings might do it. Siblings don't do it, relatives might do it. If they don't do it, friends might do it. Society might do it. The entire virtual interaction across the internet can do it. The bosses can do it. Partners do it. Right. So, you know what? In standard 10, there was pre-board, and in mathematics, I scored 28 marks only. 28 only, out of 80 marks. I was in ICSE board, 20 marks were for some project. Pre-board. So my teacher told me the people who fail in pre-board are not able to pass in boards. Even if they pass, they will be passing but 50% marks. तो बोल दिया था उन्होंने. Okay. You know what I did? My name is Abhishek, so I had the second roll number. My copy was snatched 3 to 5 minutes before the actual time. And one question was remaining, that was of 6 marks, the last question. And I scored 94 in mathematics. Nothing was deducted. Okay, the stage. So it was just 1 month in which I crossed all these 4 stages. And a lot of these things must have happened with you also. And I'm sure, I cannot see you right now, but I'm sure that a lot of you might be thinking about certain events in your life in which these things happened. Right? So, we grew up with this idea, and this is the reason why I chose being a teacher. I'm not a teacher. I don't know teacher like Master Jisa, like my clothes, my dress, the way I walk and talk, all those stuff. You must have realized that I'm not very much like a regular teacher. You know why? Because I did not like regular teachers. They were just regular humans. I realized that there is something missing. A person who can guide other people can be the only person, can be the person who can learn also. So then I realized that there are people who put you down every time. And once you become a trainer, a teacher, a facilitator, basically anyone who is speaking in front of a lot of people, you have a great power, at the same time very great responsibility. So you need to keep on learning, right? So that's the reason I became a trainer of cat, because this is where I could, try to, in my capacity, try to build something, probably the future of some people. So it's not, what I'm kind of flaunting or flexing myself, but you understand that in every capacity that you are, you might be software engineer or just a student right now, but in your capacity, you should do something which has a wider impact than just your life. All right. So going back to the passage, we grew up with this idea, and as the years accumulate, like keep on piling up, so too do the layers of prejudice, fear, and guilt. Prejudice. Now, again, let us look at the etymological meaning of it. Pre comes from pre, and then judicial, etc. Can you relate it to it? So people who do not know the meaning of prejudice, now if you break it in this way, you might be getting the meaning. And that is why Sanskrit was very important. If you have studied Sanskrit in your school, Sanskrit was all about sandhis. Sandhi with ched, yaad hai aapko? Words were broken into two different words, and they were then joined, samas and sandhi with ched. Sanskrit is, I would say, the most scientific language because it follows all the rules of etymology. Other languages do not, or they do not do it that way as Sanskrit does. So if you're good in Sanskrit, that's the reason why Sanskrit should be compulsory for all the people across the globe. So I learned this from Sanskrit only. Prejudice. Judice, judgment, prejudgment. Acha. Prejudice is prejudgment. Getting it? Right. Exactly, Ayushman. But people who don't know the meaning of it can derive or deduct the meaning, deduce the meaning. पहले judgment है, prejudgment, prejudice. Fear, and guilt. There comes a time when our personal calling is so deeply buried in our soul as to be invisible. Right? This is very common. We don't even know what we have to do. But it's still there. If we have the courage to disinter dream. Disinter is like, disinter is digging up something. Dig up the dreams. If you have the courage. So firstly, you need the courage to accept that, okay, you want to become this. You want to crack IIM Ahmedabad, IIM ABC, whatever, or you want to, kind of create some impact. You want to be into politics, create a music album, shoot some movies. All those things, they sound very vague, and a lot of people, the entire society will push you into doing something that is engineering or medicine or all that stuff. So everybody has a calling. A lot of people do not even know about that because they don't have the courage. Once you have the courage, you will dig inside your dream and you'll get to know, okay, this is what I want to do, which can be really weird. And you might do not have the, even if you get it, what's your calling, you won't be able to say it out loud to the people, isn't it? I have seen people tell me that you should not tell what you are going to do, what your dreams are, to others because they get jinxed. A lot of people say that. You know what I do? If I have a dream, I just tell it out loud to everyone. You know why? Because when I tell it out loud to everyone, there are a lot of people who might be going against me, a lot of people who will be with me in that dream. So that is a way, So it's all about having the courage to accept that you have this dream. Okay? This is very, very, very inspiring. So if we have the courage to disinter dream, dig up the dream, we are then faced by the second obstacle. The first obstacle was what? First obstacle was we have been told that this is impossible. Coming to second obstacle, एक बार हमने समझ गए, that is love. Love. We know what we want to do, but are afraid of hurting those around us by abandoning everything in order to pursue our dream. You get that, right? Let's say you want to play guitar for the rest of your life, but you will think that if I play guitar and I won't be successful, probably my parents, my friends, they will get hurt, that I do not have a real career, isn't it? So that is love. Do you get it? Ayushman, yeah. So do you understand that? You are afraid of hurting people. We do not realize that love is just a further impetus. Impetus is movement, a strong movement, not something that will prevent us going forward. ठीक है, हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि जो प्यार है वो क्या है, वो एक पावर है, वो एक एनर्जी है जो हमें आगे बढ़ाएगी, पीछे नहीं धकेलेगी. And that's the reason a lot of people do not practice the real love for self and love for some other people. A lot of people, they end up in breakups, heartbreaks. It's very common. All of us have faced that, right? The thing is, because we do not understand the real love, we feel that love is something that, holds you back. But the real love is something which encourages you. Is that clear? So we humans are hardwired in such a way, socially hardwired, that we don't feel that, it is just a further impetus. It's not something that will prevent us from going forward. We do not realize, I hope you're getting the passage now. We do not realize that those who genuinely wish us well want us to be happy and are prepared to accompany us on that journey. हमें पता ही नहीं चलती कि जो लोग सच में हमें प्यार करते हैं वो चाहेंगे कि हम वो करें जो हम चाहते हैं. Right? Once we have accepted that love is a stimulus, what is stimulus? Stimulus, something that starts, something that starts a process or phenomenon. Once we accept that love is stimulus, we come up with the third obstacle. Here comes the third obstacle. Fear of the defeats we will meet on the path. Sounds very inspiring and very logical, isn't it? Alchemist is a great novel. That's the reason that I prescribed that to you, the first book to be read. So we have this fear of defeats, right? We who fight for our dreams suffer far more than it does not work out. होता है ना, तुम बोलते हो कि सर हम दिन रात पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, लॉजिकल रीजनिंग समझ ही नहीं आ रहा, क्वांट में ये प्रॉब्लम्स बन ही नहीं रही हैं, इतनी स्पीड आ ही नहीं रही है, हम मेहनत तो पूरी कर रहे हैं, राइट? द थर्ड स्टेज, fear of defeats that meet on path. We who fight for our dreams suffer far more when it does not work out, because we cannot fall back on the old excuse, oh well, I didn't really want it anyway. है ना, अंगूर खट्टे हैं वाली बात है, old excuse, कि हम नहीं कर पाए तो हम बोलेंगे अरे यार ठीक है, हमें तो करना ही नहीं था. That is अंगूर खट्टे हैं वाली कहावत in Hindi. Oh well, I did not really want it that way. Anyway, we do want it. We do want it and know that we have staked everything on it, and that the path of the personal calling is no easier than any other path. In reality, we want it. We want to do it because we have put everything on stake, our money, our health, our dreams, our relationships, right? There's a movie called Barvi Pass. If you have watched that movie, that person who becomes an IAS officer later, he puts everything on stake, right? He wants that. We know we want that. If we say मुझे नहीं चाहिए था, that wasn't just an excuse. Accept that our whole heart is in this journey. Then we, warriors of light, जो प्रकाश में लड़ते हैं, जो प्रकाश को लाते हैं, must be prepared to have patience in difficult times. Patience. That is what I told you. I kind of tell you, almost every class, that if you cannot do something, it's just a starting, there's a starting, and depending on your any section of CAT. So you say, okay, I was not able to solve one question, okay, and how will you do it? There's no time. So patience is very important because things grow naturally. You just have to push your limits in difficult times and to know that the universe is conspiring in our favor, even though we may not understand how. I ask myself, are defeats necessary? I ask myself, are defeats necessary? Aniket, that's great. क्या पराजय आवश्यक है? मैंने शुद्ध हिंदी बोल दी है, इसमें उर्दू मिक्स ही नहीं है. जरूरी इज उर्दू, आवश्यक इज हिंदी. यू नो दैट? क्या हारना जरूरी है, ये उर्दू है. क्या पराजय आवश्यक है, दिस इज हिंदी. वेल, necessary or not, we don't know. It's necessary or not, they happen. वो होंगे ही होंगे, पता नहीं है जरूरी है कि नहीं है, बट होगा जरूर. When we first begin fighting for our dream, we have no experience and make many mistakes, obviously. That is the stage where you are in right now, in the pursuit of cat prep. The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. To get up 8 times. Like 7 and 8, this has got no, any deeper significance. Just numbers. कि 7 बार हारे, तब भी 8वीं बार उठोगे. Okay? So why is it so important to live our personal calling if we are only going to suffer more than other people? Right? In pursuing your own dreams, you're going to suffer more than other people. That is right. People can just go and do an engineering, get a job, get a package, starting package of 12 lakhs, going to 15. They are in the 30s, they might be having package of 40, 50 lakhs. They are enjoying, right? The other people who are preparing for, let's say, IAS or other exams, or maybe doing something else, maybe they want to become actors. They're suffering more than others. So why? Why should we suffer? Right? Because once we have overcome the defeats, and we always do, we are filled by a greater sense of euphoria and confidence. Euphoria and confidence. Euphoria, intense excitement. Confidence, you understand. In the silence of our hearts, we know that we are proving ourselves worthy of the miracle of life. हमने चमत्कार कर दिया. Miracle is चमत्कार. Okay? Magic. Each day, each hour is part of the good fight. We start to live with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is joy and pleasure. Intense, unexpected suffering passes more quickly than suffering that is apparently bearable. समझ में आई बात ये? I'll tell you. Let's say तुम बोलोगे कि यार मेरे को ना कोई चाकू से या ब्लेड से मेरी उंगली काट दे, ठीक है, और दूसरा कोई मेरा दिल तोड़ दे. ब्लेड से उंगली काटने वाली सफरिंग apparently it's more bearable than the suffering which you will have after having a heartbreak. Right? That is what you feel. But, in reality, intense or unexpected suffering passes more quickly than suffering that is apparently bearable. The latter goes on for years and without our noticing, eats away at our soul until one day we are no longer able to free ourselves from the bitterness and it stays with us for the rest of our lives. So it's just that what looks, and there is a yeah, Aniket, and there is one quotation. It says, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Do you get that? So suffering which is unexpected, looks intense, it's almost life-killing, life-threatening. Once you pass that suffering, you will be stronger. Okay, well, for our lives, rest of our lives, this is a misprint. Having disinterred, dug up our dream, having used the power of love to nurture it, spent many years living with the scars. Scars, you know what are scars? Akash, exactly. Scar. जो चोट के निशान बन जाते हैं. Scars. We suddenly notice that what we always wanted is there, waiting for us, perhaps the very next day. Then comes the fourth obstacle. अब पहुंच चुके हैं उस जगह जहां मालूम है अब ये होने ही वाला है. Fourth obstacle is very critical. The fear of realizing the dream for which we fought all our lives. कहीं ये हो तो नहीं जाएगा जो हम चाह रहे थे. है ना? Nisha, there are 4 groups. I'll be sending all the links. You join whatever you want to. Okay? So, now the fourth obstacle, when we have done everything. So, see, if you look at this, from here till here, everything, every stage has been summarized. Having disinterred our dream, having used the power of love to nurture it. पहली stage क्या है? Disentering the dream. Do you realize that? Everyone pay attention. This first line, first phrase is the first stage. Having used the power of love, the second stage. To nurture it, spent many years living in the scars. The scars, third stage. We suddenly notice that what we always wanted is there, waiting for us perhaps the very next day. So everything which we have done earlier is summarized and then comes the fourth stage. Do you realize that? Did you notice that? That this line just before stage was just a summary of the previous 3 stages. तो होता है ना कि आखिरी चीज बताने के पहले पिछले वाले को समराइज किया जाता है. Right? That is how story is told. The fear of realizing the dream for which we fought all our lives, Oscar Wilde said, each man kills the thing he loves. And it's true. The mere possibility of getting what we want fills the soul of the ordinary person with guilt. We look around and at all those who have failed to get what they want and feel that we do not deserve to get what we want either. ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन को ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे आई डोंट नो इफ यू हैव फेल्ट द फोर्थ स्टेज और नॉट, एंड आई थिंक लॉट ऑफ पीपल would never reach the fourth stage throughout their lives because they don't have the courage to cross the first three stages, right? Do you understand that? Can you relate to it? It's very difficult to relate to it. Till third stage you can relate. But can you foresee or imagine or visualize what will happen? Fourth stage will come. When you're successful, you'll have guilt. Okay, a lot of other people are not there. Only I am there. Okay. We forget about all the obstacles we overcame, all the suffering we endured, all the things we had to give up in order to get this far. I have known a lot of people who, when their personal calling was within their grasp, went on to commit a series of stupid mistakes and never reached their goal. It was only a step away. Tell me in the comments. And that is the real test, the last test. The people who pass it become successful. So now I'll give you a relatable example. In a lot of movies, motivational movies, let's talk about a Hindi movie. I don't remember the names, but there are a lot of reels coming up these days which says, the movie was Love Aajkal. Then there is a movie called Wake Up Sid, the Hindi movies. So it's like, मैं यही चाहता था. लव आजकल, मैं गोल्डन गेट में इंजीनियर बनना चाहता था, मैं बन गया हूँ, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे खुशी क्यों नहीं मिल रही है. रॉक स्टार रणबीर कपूर सेज, मुझे ही चाहिए था लोग मेरे आसपास रहें, लोग मेरी तारीफ़ें करें, सब हो रहा है, फिर भी खुशी क्यों नहीं मिल रही है. ओके, यू माइट हैव नॉट रियलाइज योरसेल्फ, यू मस्ट हैव सीन इन द मूवीज, रेड इन द नॉवेल्स अबाउट दीज पीपल, राइट? है ना, यही चाहिए था तुझे, क्यों अब तू डर रहा है इस चीज़ से, पहुंच गया ना वहां पे. देन पीपल आर फुल ऑफ गिल्ट. यस और नो? So that is the most relatable example right now for all of you. Okay, so I won't go into much complex examples. The simplest examples are these. प्रतिकाना, मैं इम्तियाज़ अली का फ़ैन तो नहीं हूँ, हाँ, लेकिन कमाल की बात है ये सारी मुझे इम्तियाज़ अली की थी, तो इम्तियाज़ अली ऑल्सो इज़ लाइक दैट. ऐसे ही किताबें, मतलब फिल्म्स बनाते हैं वो. कमिंग टू द क्वेश्चंस. According to the passage, what is the most likely reason people fail to achieve their dreams despite overcoming numerous obstacles? Okay. People fail to achieve their dreams. That means achieving the dreams is fourth stage. Okay? तो fourth stage पे क्यों नहीं आ पाते? I just told you, it's because of guilt that we have. They lack the patience, resilience required to keep fighting the personal calling. This is true, but not the reason. That's not the fourth stage. They are consumed by guilt and self-doubt, leading them to make self-sabotaging mistakes. It's totally given here, you know. We look around at people, all those who have failed to get what they want feel that we do not deserve to get what we want either. So second looks correct to me. I'll put a question mark. Let's read third and fourth also. They become complacent after overcoming initial hurdles, stop striving. Complacency is something which has not been discussed in the passage anyway. You know what complacency is? जब बोले ठीक है अब तो हो गया. अनिकेत, yes, right. Complacent कि अब मैं ठीक है मतलब कर ही लिया है, अब नहीं करूँगा. So that is not being talked about in the passage anywhere. They realize that the pursuit of their dream is more rewarding than its actual achievement. Not really. This goes against the passage. Passage talks about that reward is the actual achievement, not just the pursuit. So we'll go with B. That's an easy one. I think all of you did it correctly. Next. Which one of the following best describes the paradox presented in the passage? What's the paradox actually? Did you notice the paradox? If you are able to find the paradox in the entire passage, you will be answering it correctly. And I think a lot of you have marked it wrong. But somehow, I think you are going to change your answers. Is that so? People spend their entire lives pursuing their dreams but often give up just before achieving them. That's a true thing. It says describes the paradox. Describes the paradox. This is a true thing, but that's not the paradox, you know, because it doesn't describe the paradox. It just mentions the paradox. This is mentioning the paradox. not describing it, but I'll put a question mark because this is not totally wrong. B says those who face insurmountable obstacles are often the ones who are best prepared to overcome them. ये बात भी सही है, पर पैराडॉक्स है ही नहीं, ये तो फैक्ट है. This is a logical thing, cause and effect. Something happens and then something will happen which will be a most natural outcome. Okay, this is not a paradox. See, the fear of suffering during the journey is often greater than the suffering itself. The fear of suffering during the journey is often greater than the suffering itself. Okay, D says, people who finally achieve their dreams often feel unworthy of their success. So A and C and D all look correct, but the description of paradox is given in only option D, which discusses what exactly is the paradox, what exactly happens. People who finally achieve their dreams often feel unworthy of their success. So we'll go with D because A and C are partially true and do not describe the paradox as the option D describes. Did you guys change? Ridhima says okay, D. Ridhima change kiya gaya? Next one. Which of the following, if true, would most weaken the author's argument about overcoming obstacles in the pursuit of one's dream? Weaken the author's argument. Okay. Many individuals who face repeated failure ultimately give up on their dreams and live content lives. ऑथर ने बोला है कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, और अगर ऐसा हो गया तो ऑब्वियसली ये ऑथर को इसको आर्गुमेंट को वीकन कर रहा है, isn't it? Author says that this is something which happens to people, but people should not give up on their dreams. They should follow it. So if this is true, if this is a fact, then this will be weakening the author's argument. I think it's correct. I'll put a question mark because if there's a better option than A, I'll go for it. But I don't think there's anything better than this. B says research shows that people who follow their passion do not necessarily experience greater happiness. Following the passion and achieving the passion are two different things. So option B is not holistic. That's why I will eliminate B. Eliminate this option. It's not holistic. It's not comprehensive. It just talks about the following the passion. Okay? Not about realizing the passion. So and A is a better choice, obviously, so we'll eliminate B. Coming to a scale on a B mark kiya hua hai. Okay, Ridhima. See, those who struggle the most in the journey often end up being the most successful. Those who struggle the most in their journey often end up being the most successful. तो ये तो वीकेंड तो कर नहीं रहा है, ये तो स्ट्रेंथन कर रहा है. यस और नो? जो स्ट्रगल करेगा, ओवरकम करेगा ऑब्स्टिकल को, वो जीत जाएगा. तो सी तो आयुष गलत हो गया. Coming to D, fear of failure is a bigger obstacle than fear of success for most individuals. Fear of success and fear of failure. Fear of failure is not being talked about in the passage. Out of context, we'll go with A only. Very few people got it right. Well, ask the score. Tell me what your score was when you marked it initially, not after I explained. Last one. What assumption does the author most rely on in arguing that overcoming obstacles leads to a fulfilling life? What assumption does the author most rely on in arguing that overcoming obstacles leads to a fulfilling life? People who persevere through difficulties are always rewarded in the end. Always rewarded in the end? Too extreme in statement. These statements should be, avoided. But I'll put a question mark. B says personal fulfillment comes from the pursuit of a goal rather than its achievement. Not really. Achievement is also necessary. In the passage, author has clearly shown, Paulo Coelho, that achievement is also very necessary. That is what is personal fulfillment. So this is against the passage. We'll eliminate B. Coming to C. Everyone has a personal calling that they should strive to achieve. Okay. So, see, assumption that author is relying on in arguing that overcoming leads to fulfilling life. तो ऑब्स्टेकल ओवरकम वही इंसान कर पाएगा जो जिसके पास कुछ पर्सनल कॉलिंग हो, जिसका कोई पर्सनल ड्रीम हो, isn't it? Do you understand that? Yeah. So the person who will overcome the obstacles for a fulfilling life will be a person who actually has a dream, who actually has a personal calling, or who actually has recognized his or her personal calling. So C is a better choice than A, I would say. Okay, I'll put 2 question marks here. Those who abandon their dreams will always regret their decision later in life. Regret, this word is an extreme word. We won't choose that because there are no extreme words given in the passage. D is eliminated between A and C. What should we choose? Always is again an extreme word. We'll not go with A, we'll go with C. So people who have the personal calling should strive to achieve it. अगर सपना है उसको पूरा करना चाहिए, तभी हम यहाँ पहुँचेंगे ना कि ऑब्स्टेकल आएगा और उसको क्रॉस करो. Right? If you don't identify your dream, or maybe you identified but don't have the courage to pursue it, you won't be reaching this stage. So C is the best one. Fall in love with CSE, I think I just told you, you've identified the dream or not. If you've identified, that is the first stage. Then comes second stage, and then this will be coming, right? Mentioning is just a simple mention, Shravani, describing when you actually tell the contents of that fact. No, Niket. Everyone has a personal calling, but sometimes people do not identify it because they haven't crossed the first stage. Okay, Niket? So now, what is the lesson that you guys took here? The lesson is never be overconfident. Confidence is the key, but overconfidence is the downfall. The passage looked easy. The questions looked easy. Some people told me, I think Rajesh said that the options are very close. Or maybe Pawan, someone said that questions looked easy, passages looked moderate, but the options were making it difficult. It was moderately difficult, someone said that. You know what I would say? That passage was exactly a cat level passage. The first one, I would myself say, first one was moderate to easy. The second one was moderate to difficult. Yes or no? Okay. Coming to the last one. Passage 3. The meaning of love. Pratikana, reading club link. Okay, anyone here who has the... Okay, Pratikana, I'll just share that in the chat. When I give you the third passage to read, share that in the chat. Ridhima, you should read The Alchemist. The book is about love. It's a fantasy plus romance. Now, here comes the passage. It's 12:39 by my watch, 12:40. Till 12:40 p.m. you will do this. I'm going on mute. I know this is not for the mute, the emoji, but I don't want to draw a finger over there. So I'm going on mute now. So I am back. Okay. Noir Nebula, that is my favorite line from Interstellar. Love is one thing we are capable of perceiving that transcends all the dimensions of time and space, just like gravity. Love is like gravity. Now, Akash, very good question. First line is an apostrophe. Deepak says the same. Apostrophe, as I explained in, I think, yesterday itself, when we talk to the non-living things, inanimate objects. That's right. But in this case, it's not an apostrophe. Okay, I'll tell you why. Viril Sun also is talking. This will be coming under a literary device called allegory. Allegory. Allegory is a poem, a prose which gives a hidden meaning and is full of fantastical elements. Fantasy. Okay? So here, Sun actually talks. Getting it? That is why it's not an apostrophe. Very good question. And I feel that now you have understood it. When we say, oh Sun, show me the way, that is apostrophe. But in this case, Sun is talking. Okay, so this entire thing is allegory. Like Animal Farm, Noir Nebula, exactly. What's the name, Noir? Chalo. Before explaining, I'll show you the questions one by one. Here is the first one. Allegory spelling, here it goes. Let's go to the next question. Pawan, contradiction you understand? Implicit is something that is not mentioned outright. Something that is hidden implies something which is hidden. Also type the question numbers. Well, so done with all the questions. How was the passage? What do you think? Interesting, I know. Difficult, moderate, easy, and how are the questions? All right, there's many. And there's not an unseen passage, right? Third question. Teen tigada kam bigada. Easy to moderate. Okay, not so straight like a circle. Ayush man. Wow. Straight like a circle. Nice. Best figure of speech is this. Pavan, you're feeling it right. Chalo, let's go to the passage now. You know, this is one of my favorite parts of the entire book, The Alchemist, when this boy Santiago talks to sun and wind, right? The wind told me that you know about love, the boy said. Nothing to explain here, right? If you know about love, you must also know about the soul of the world, because it's made of love. From where I am, the sun said, I can see the soul of the world. It communicates with my soul. And together we cause the plants to grow, sheep to seek out shade. See, what looks like a fantasy is essentially scientific. Plants to grow. What is the sun exactly, or Paulo Coelho exactly pointing at? Anyone? Some skeptic, scientific acumen people who have scientific acumen, they become skeptics most of the times. For them also, this book and this entire passage is a great thing. So allegorically, sun is pointing out to what scientific phenomenon? Who will tell me? Together we cause the plants to grow and the sheep to seek out shade. Sheep to seek out shade is nothing but the reference to Santiago being a shepherd. But plants to grow. Anyone? The most important phenomenon for life to sustain on earth is photosynthesis, right? It's because of sun that plants synthesize their food. You know, plants make their own food. Remember that? बात समझ में आ रही है? कितना डीप, कितना अच्छा ये नॉवेल लिखा गया है. From where I am and I'm a long way from the earth. Sun बोल रहा है ये. I learned how to love. I know that if I came even a little bit closer to the earth, everything there would die. And the soul of the world would no longer exist. So we contemplate each other and we want each other, and I give it life and warmth and gives me my reason for living. You know, there's if you have heard about these things, the two people who are great, but they cannot live together. Learned it? Heard it? It's like sun and the earth. Earth provides life, sun gives the energy for life to sustain, but they cannot be together. Earth and sun. They're together, the entire life will destroy. How deep is it? How many of you noticed this part while reading it, the book or this passage? Right? Gone girl? Yes, pretty gonna. So you know about love, the boy said, and I know the soul of the world because we have talked at great length to each other during this endless trip through the universe. It tells me that its greatest problem is that up until now, only the minerals and vegetables understand that all things are one. यहाँ बात वही हो गई, minerals, right? Minerals. किस मिट्टी के बने हो, हम सब मिट्टी के बने हैं, मिट्टी में मिल जाएंगे. Right? All that stuff. तू नंगा ही तो आया था, घंटा लेकर जाएगा. From the song. You know, so all these things we have heard in various ways. You know what's the best thing about Alchemist? The Alchemist tells us things which we already know, but we have not given it much thought. Right? That there is no need for iron to be the same as copper, copper the same as gold. Each performs its own exact function as a unique being, and everything would be a symphony of peace if the hand that wrote all of this had stopped on the fifth day of creation. Fifth day of creation. Biblical reference hai yahan pe. Have you read Bible, anyone? There was darkness, God came, and he said, let there be light. Let there be light is the opening statement of Bible. It's very famous. Let there be light, and there was light. And then God divided light and dark in two parts. One is called day, other is called night. Do you remember that? Fifth day के बाद ही creation किया था God ने, according to Bible. So that is the biblical reference. How many of you realized or understood that? But there was a sixth day. The sun went on. You are wise because you observe everything from a distance. The boys said, we don't know about love. If there had not been a sixth day, man would not exist. Copper would always be just copper. Lead, just lead. It's true that everything has its personal legend, but one day that personal legend will be realized. So each thing has to transform itself into something better and acquire a new personal legend until someday soul of the world becomes one thing only. तो बॉय ये बोल रहा है कि ठीक है, कॉपर कॉपर है, आयरन आयरन है, but the significance of copper, significance of iron is because humans exist. If there were no sixth day, humans would not have been there. Okay, so you, son, being the wisest, you look at us from the distance, but do you realize that if you are not there, probably anything would not have any significance. So human intervention is required, is important. Okay, the sun thought about that and decided to shine more brightly. The wind, which was enjoying the conversation, started to blow with greater force so that the sun would not blind the boy. Such a playful twist. Okay, sun was like, oh, sun was shining more brightly. Dekhte kya karta hai. And wind, who was enjoying, wind is like, someone who enjoys the conversation. Chalo, maze le rahe hain. Conversation khatam to nahi ho jayegi kahin galti se. So wind is like, chalo, let's blow और तेज ताकि आंखें ना उसकी वो हो जाए, है ना, आंखें ना चौंधी आ जाएं, किसकी, बॉय की. This is why alchemy exists. The boy says so that everyone will search for his treasure, find it, then want to be better than he was in his former life. Lead will play its role until the world has no further need for lead, and that lead will have to turn itself into gold. That's what alchemists do. They show that when we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. Well, why did you say that I don't know about love? The son asked the boy. तो सन को भी लगा, सन को भी अपने वो आ गया ना, ईगो वाला आ गया कि अच्छा मुझे पूछना पड़ेगा भाई, इसे क्यों लगता है कि मेरे को समझ नहीं आता प्यार के बारे में. This show, the son asked the boy, because it's not love to be static like the desert, nor is it love to roam the world like the wind. It's not love to see everything from a distance like you do. Love is the force that transforms and improves the soul of the world. So boy explains that love is a transformative force. That's the key idea here. Do you realize that? The key idea of whatever the boy said right now in 2 or 3 lines is the key idea is love is a transformative force. When I first reached Through to it, I thought the soul of the world was perfect, but later I could see that it was like other aspects of creation and had its own passions and wars. It is we who nourish the soul of the world, and the world we live in will be either better or worse depending on whether we become better or worse, and that's where the power of love comes in. Because when we love, we always strive to become better than we are. So basically, when we are in love, we try to improve ourselves. In the pursuit of improving ourselves, everything else also improves. Everything else also has some kind of significance. So it's more like, the entire universe is conspiring to make you achieve that dream. Roshan, tell me the question. So what do you want of me? The son asked. I want you to help me turn myself into the wind, the boy answered. Nature knows me as the wisest being in creation. The son said, but I don't know how to turn you into the wind. So tell me something. The paragraph ends at son saying, nature knows me as the wisest being, but still I don't know how to turn you into the wind. What is sun trying to imply here? Sun is trying to imply one particular thing, that sun will be doing his duty or her duty, its duty, let's say its, and it would not interfere with the functioning or functionality of wind. Is that clear? So there isn't much to explain over here. There are certain points where I wanted to explain, and also in sync with the kind of questions that can be made. I just told you the key ideas of this. There's nothing more, no more complex vocabulary. It's just an allegory. Fantastical elements are there. Sun, wind, boy, they're talking. Roshan, you wanted to ask a question. What's the question? Sushmita, obviously. Because tone is narrative. Totally narrative. Bhagavad Gita के बारे में बात करेंगे अभी, the next task, and after that there will be task, a movie task also. Okay. Roshan, yes, the arithmetic part will be covered if you complete 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For that, there is a non-engineers QA. The module, just go through that and it will be sorted. Okay. Which of the following most accurately identifies the implicit contradiction in the sun's understanding of love? See, I think I explained that earlier. Sun loves earth, but sun cannot come close to earth because it will be destruction. Okay, that is the contradiction. So normally people think that if we love someone, we should be together, isn't it? Right? That's what I think. But I explained it with different examples that it can destroy the world also. So I think that's the contradiction, isn't it? Let's see. The sun claims to know love because it nurtures life. It remains distant from the world to avoid destroying it. Looks correct. Looks correct. The sun states that love is about coexistence. It acknowledges that everything in the universe must transform. That's a true statement. But that's not a contradiction. It's just a fact. Okay, we need a contradiction here. Implicit, that is hidden. The sun recognizes the soul of the world but refuses to acknowledge its own role in shaping it. Not really. The sun recognizes its own role. This is a false statement altogether. The sun claims that love creates harmony, yet it describes the universe as incomplete due to the existence of humanity. As such, sun ने describe नहीं किया था कि universe is incomplete due to existence of humanity. Okay. In fact, sun never claims that. It's the boy who claims that humans are required for the universe to be complete. So we'll go with A. All of you got the same, I think. Next, the boy argues that love is a force of transformation. Which of the following, if true, would most seriously challenge this claim? First is the most profound acts of love are those that accept things as they are rather than seeking to change them. देखो, force of transformation है. So we'll choose the, now everybody pay attention. The option, the option which will be totally different or antonymous to the power of transformation will be the best possible option. It will challenge the claim most seriously, isn't it? Love क्या है? It can transform. If the transformation power is challenged, that will be the best option. First one says, most profound acts of love are those that accept things as they are rather than seeking to change them. यही तो है, जैसा है वैसा ही एक्सेप्ट कर लो. नहीं बोलते I want you to love me for what I am, for not what you want me to be. Very common, right? So the profound acts of love are those, which transform people, transform processes. So A looks correct to me. Let's see other options also. Historical evidence suggests that his society's resistance to change have been just as successful as those that embrace transformation. This is true. This looks like a correct answer, but the problem is that this talks about the society at large, social transformation, not the personal transformation, which the entire passage is talking about. So we'll eliminate B, because B is talking about social transformation, not about personal, individual transformation. C, the concept of personalization varies across cultures, making transformation subjective rather than universal goal. Subjective. यहाँ वही है, same reason that I rejected B. Scientific studies indicate that human nature is inherently resistant to change. Inherently, even in the presence of strong emotional connection, looks correct. But the problem is, this is a biological, a scientific explanation, whereas we need individual philosophical interpretation, which will be option A itself. Okay. That's right. Coming to third one, which assumption most critically underlies the boy's argument that transformation is essential for love? Assumption, assume करना है, passage में नहीं होगा. A static existence is inherently inferior to one that continuously evolves. See, this is something which has been, which can be an assumption, right? Static existence, जो move ही नहीं कर रहा, वो inferior होगा, जो continuously evolve कर रहा है. Problem is, using the word inferior, which is a too strong a word to be chosen, but still I put a question mark. If in the absence of any better option, I'll choose A. Coming to B, the soul of the world is incomplete and requires human action to fulfill its potential. Exactly. Transformation can be done by humans. Lead will be lead, but the moment the utility of lead is gone, the alchemist will transform it to gold, right? So transformation is there. B is a better statement. I will eliminate A, put a question mark to B. Coming to C now. True fulfillment can only be achieved through constant struggle and self-improvement. Constant struggle and self-improvement. Critically analyze boy, transformation is essential for love. Okay. Transformation is essential for love. Now, this is something which is correct, but in this passage it talks about the soul of the world, the universal happening. So that is why B is a more accurate presentation of the assumption. Okay. Coming to D, the physical and metaphysical worlds are interdependent, with love acting as a bridge between them. This is not mentioned in the passage anywhere. We go with B only. Clear? Everyone? Last one, if the son were to successfully counter the boy's argument about love, which of the following statements would it most likely make? देखो, लड़का बोल रहा है कि ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के लिए इंसान चाहिए, ठीक है? अगर सूरज ये बोल देगा कि नहीं चाहिए, तो कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन होगा. Let's see. Love is not about changing the world, but about understanding and maintaining the balance within it. This is something which, it's not a counter argument. This is what boy also believes in, so we'll eliminate that. B, if transformation were the ultimate goal, then destruction would be as valuable as creation. Looks correct, no? है ना? कि ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ही करना है ना? तो भाई डिस्ट्रक्शन भी उतना ही वैल्यूएबल जितना क्रिएशन होगा. काउंटर हो जाएगा बॉय का आर्ग्यूमेंट, है ना? बट द बॉयज आर्ग्यूमेंट is about building something, is about creation, is about positive transformation, not the negative ones. That is the reason we can eliminate B if we have no better option. Is that clear? Let's look at third. Soul of the world does not require human intervention to reach fulfillment. Cool. I'm so thankful to God that we have better option in C than B, so we can eliminate B now. D says true love does not seek to impose change, but rather harmonizes with what already exists. Not really, it imposes this change. No, galat hi hai. We'll go with C. Cool. That's all. Ayushman, हाँ आया था. So tell me everyone, what are your scores? And I'm sure, pretty sure that third and fourth questions were kind of very close. Fourth नहीं आया था क्या? चलो कोई बात नहीं, अब आंसर कर दो. Tejaswini, great, well done. 3 on 4, very good. Perfect. That's great. So now, I want to talk about two things. First is what's next. I have given the task in terms of books to Bhagavad Gita. The next task, those who were not able to join the reading club yet, tell me, are you a part of Kickstart or you're part of any other group where I can share this? Okay. Second, I would like you guys to watch a movie called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. This movie ranks in my top 10 movies of all time. And third will be some essays, editorials I'll be sending you. But for this complete 1 week, I'll be sending just one editorial. But this is the movie that you should watch today, tomorrow, whatever, when you get a time. Bhagavad Gita, the time is 15 days. So on this, I'll be taking a session on the first Sunday of March. All right. And in between, I'll take an RC session based on The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. All right. Somewhere in between, we'll just decide. Clear? Editorials, I'll give every alternate day, I'll give editorials or essays to just read. Great, Jatin. All right. That is one thing, and you talk about. Other thing is, as I'm planning to do some, make some playlists for you guys, because somehow I feel that you have a lot of material for quants and LRDI, a lot of things are there for VRC. Somehow across the internet, across the world, there's very less information available. Obviously, we have a lot of passages, we have a lot of RC passages, a lot of verbal ability questions, there are textual and video solutions everywhere, but there's something that is missing, and I want to complete that. For example, the Reading Club is one of it. Second is, I would like to create a playlist in which I'll be talking about how to read. Ab kitna aasan hai? How to read? Utha ke padh lo. Not really. How to read different things. How to read the Eon essays, how to read articles, how to read a novel, this, and then how to summarize. Okay. So I'm planning these two playlists. It can be a live video, it can be a recorded video, whatever you like. So how to read, there will be 4 to 5 different videos. How to summarize, there will be again 2 to 3 different videos. Okay, so these two. Are you cool with it? The problem is, what I have felt, that right now, I am at the 3rd stage with you guys. 4th stage अभी आया नहीं है. 4th stage कब आता? जब reading club की बात हुई थी, there were more than 400 people who were interested in that. But today I see only 40 to 50 people who have come for the session. Only those people who actually wrote the summary. So in a way, but because I'm someone who doesn't give up, like Paulo Coelho. So even if there are 50 people, I was thinking, should I do it? Should I continue it? 400 लोगों ने बोला था, तो 50 लोग ही आए हैं. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? उसका मतलब ये हुआ कि उन 400 लोगों में से 350 लोग पहली स्टेज पे ही रुक गए. तुम लोग 3rd पे आए हो. Okay, so me being a trainer, my work is to guide you guys. So I'll just do it if there is only one person sitting here. Okay, so that is because I promised it. And when I promise, I'm a man of words and numbers both. So I promise this will happen, and it is happening. All right. So those who are watching it afterwards, maybe some people are busy due to certain work, but still, this is not a great thing for them, right? Not a great thing for them that 350 people could not cross the 1st stage because they thought it's impossible, right? The 1st stage as given in the 2nd paragraph, 2nd passage. So on this note, I would like to end the session. Let's go. Because I slept at 4 in the morning, I was thinking of what all things can be done to uplift your knowledge in terms of VR, LRDA and quant. I was working on some mathematical models. I woke up at 8, then came here to take the session. I did not eat anything, right? A lot of you must not have eaten. That's something, there's a sacrifice involved here. So let's go eat something and then enjoy the match today, India-Pakistan. All right then, let's meet in the next session. Bye-bye. Sure, Shravani. So Sheila, yes. Just go on the website, you will get a number, talk to them, and they will guide you throughout. Summary पे session लूँगा मैं. Bye everyone. All right, take care.